We've only just begun.
You are now in the realm of enlightenment and transformation, as brought to you by the Foundational Friday. Our core aim is to present an experience, an opportunity for your soul to reascend to its place of origin by cultivating a healthier spiritual awareness and emotional maturity. This show serves as a free offering to the greater community and an addendum requirement for all ANU spiritual training students. For all those listening, if you'd like to move closer to the calculations and fundamental understandings of the ANU order, be sure to pick up the book, Grasping the Root of Divine Power. If you desire a spiritual reading to help you map your current spiritual position in the face of your world and learn the greatest pathways for your fortune in this season, you can go to the saduluhouse.com. That is SADULUHOUSE.com. You can also go to orishareligion.com to find out how you can become a student and member of the new spiritual order. That's ORISHARELIGION.com. Let us begin.
You are watching a master at work.
Mojuba Eshu, Mojuba Yemoja, Mojuba Ogun, Mojuba Ori, Mojuba Ochosi, Mojuba Dada, Mojuba Nanan Buklu, Mojuba Aganju, Mojuba Olokun, Mojuba Aje, Mojuba Awon Ileyi, Mojuba Ijapo, Mojuba Onile, Mojuba Ariwa, Mojuba Guusu, Mojuba Ilo Orun, Mojuba Ewo Orun, Mojuba Bogborisha, Mojuba Egun Kikikin Egun Kiki, Mojuba Egun, Mojuba Babanlas, Mojuba Iyanlas, Akba Orun, Bakba Orun. Greetings, everyone. Thank you for tuning in again. I'm Yuya Assaan-ANU, Chief Instructor, Head Jegna of the ANU Spiritual Order and the Sadulu House Spiritual Center. As always, I am thankful and grateful for your presence in this space and time, for what you bring to it, and for what some of you take away from it. I am thankful to your Ori, I'm thankful to your ancestors, and for all the energies that orchestrated you to be here in this moment, whether you're listening from the archives, whether you're falling asleep with your headphones on, listening to the show, or if you're just sitting down for your evening meal, or if you're dawning breakfast, listening to these words, I am grateful. And these are all the mediums that people share with me when they email me and tell me, hey, I listen to it every night when I go to sleep to let the information soak in, and I, get it that way, or I get it when I'm eating, or I get it when I'm jogging, or when I'm in my car going to work. People are enjoying this Foundational Friday experience in all different types of ways. And I am thankful for the patron of technology, Ogun, for clearing a way so that we could share with one another in such a expansive and global manner. So I'm so thankful. Recently, someone had emailed me and expressed their noticing of all of the internet spiritual gurus that have kind of come up. And, I thought it was an interesting statement, but more than that, I have certainly never been an internet guru. I've put so many years in, so much groundwork of working with people one-on-one, working in the community, doing small classes, large lectures, small lectures, that I am actually very thankful for this digital time, to be able to reach so many people without me driving or flying or taking buses and things all over the place to deliver information to people, that I can do it from the comfort of my own temple. I think is wonderful. And I'm sure many others who have been, who maybe come from that school that I come from, have a lot of that one-on-one and, having to really go out, or maybe just being able to do telephone conferences long distance. We all appreciate this new time and this new era. And with that, really reaching out, it's been great because I get emails from literally all over the world, from all different types of individuals who express an interest in taking classes with me, or just an appreciation for what I've already been able to channel through that has been given to me. I'm just really doing a pass off, but I'm so thankful. You guys don't know, I'm not gonna go too deep into that because it would be a little awkward on the air. But there was a message I got recently, and I won't say the person's name. I'll just say from AL, and he'll know who it is. And I'll read it really quickly. And it said, Brother Yuya, I really don't know what to say exactly that could accurately express my gratitude for the teachings and the information that you are putting out. I've been jumping back and forth from the Phase 1 training to the Blog Talk archive to the book to the free Know You Are God's course. It's as if so many questions, doubts, etc. that I've carried around since I started on my path years ago have all of a sudden been rectified. Not saying that I've quote unquote got it now, but my foundation is stronger now. I feel like a poor kid whose parents just hit the lottery right before Christmas and started splurging. There are gifts all over the place and I'm opening them all. Unfortunately, I can't play with them all at once. I have pumped my brakes over the last couple of days and knuckled down to following the ordered sequence of training. I just couldn't help taking a brief peek at everything at first. Long story short, thanks for what you and the rest of the ANU family are doing. And that right there, that made my month. That was just platinum. To know that someone who was looking for information all this time and now has it. That's awesome. AL. And I'm just, I responded to the email, but I'll say it again over the air. I'm just thankful for you, and I'm happy for you for being able to encounter the information and comprehend it, because it ain't for everybody. All right. So I just wanted to share that over the air. It was something that really touched me, knowing that someone is getting closer to their goal, and me being honored to be a part of that journey, to be an agent for their transformation. I'm thankful. So before we get into our subject on this day, I want to definitely advise all of you who are interested in learning more about the scientific principles of the Orisha, the basic rudimentary primary scientific principles of Orisha, the Egun, Egungun, Ori, and the Odu Ifa. You should check out a show that I did a couple of nights ago. It was a wonderful dialogue that I had with our dear brother, Dr. Alim Bey, on his network of the same name, Alim Bey. It's on Blog Talk Radio. And I was given an opportunity and a space to share information from a scientific perspective on what the Orisha are, as well as answer a few questions and things like that. Now, for those of you who tuned in, as you know, there were some technical difficulties and the vocals got chopped up and things like that. So what I did was I had the audio extrapolated and remove some of the garbage from it, or I shouldn't say the garbage, but the technical issues. So I would urge you all to go to YouTube. The Orisha Religion's YouTube channel is Orisha Yoruba. So that's youtube.com/ORISHAYORUBA. That is the official channel for the Orisha Religion website. And there I actually have the interview in 4 parts. It's much easier to listen to in that manner. So I urge you all, if you have any interest in Orisha at all, or any interest in really understanding the Yoruba philosophy and calculations, go check out those videos. I think you will enjoy it. It was a good conversation that we were able to have, and we covered a lot of good ground, and people were gifted with information, and they were thankful and they were happy. And that was a wonderful thing to be able to bring. So today's show, we're going to be speaking about the concept of Jacob's Ladder, or as we also will be referring to, that stairway to heaven. All right. So I want you all to get your pens or your tablets and your styluses out and your paper, because you're going to hopefully write down some notes today, and more importantly, ultimately, you're going to study those notes and then apply them. All right. So I want to start us off with a musical selection, which is very appropriate. Listen to the words. All right. Write down the words if you even have to, or look up the lyrics. It's very important. All right. And after we listen to this, we're going to come back.
Climbing the stairway to heaven. Here we go. Walking the road of ecstasy. Taking the load of this old world off our shoulders. The door is wide open for you. The door is open for me. Here we go. Still in a moment of pleasure. You and I, we're gonna find the pirate's treasure. Climbing the stairway to heaven, climbing happiness on my mind. Hey, going on up, it's gonna be just right. Walk with me, 'cause the door is open. Talk with me, come on, baby. Love me, love me. Step by step now, put your hand in mine. All the trouble and the woe, and come on. Come on, come on. It's gonna be just like that. Gonna see just like what's happening on my mind. I said, come on, go, go, go.
Yeah, OJ's Stairway to Heaven. Classic cut, of course. I'm sure probably most of you have heard that one before. Even the younger listeners have at least heard it on the oldies station at some point. But maybe you didn't think about, maybe you did, what they were really saying there. It's a really deep song. Really, really deep. And there's a couple of lines that I want you all to pay attention to that were said. Now, before we get into that, just so you know that song was written by Kenny Gamble and Leon Huff, the famous duo Gamble and Huff. And I could do a whole series just on those two. Not necessarily their music, but their life, their intentions, and what they were really aiming to do with the music industry. Very interesting. And I mentioned that, one, because to give them honor for, the tool that they were able to give me in that song so that I could bring it to you and give you information. So I'm thankful for that. But also for those of you who like to read, there's a good book on them. I'll post the title later, but I have it on my shelf somewhere if it hasn't been liberated. But check out any literature on Gamble and Huff. They had a very interesting legacy, not only in the music business, but just in socially and culturally, what they were attempting to do with melanated music. Very interesting. But anyway, there was a couple of lines that we wanted to touch on. And I think it's early in the song. It's like the fourth line where the singer says, "I'm walking the road of ecstasy, taking the load of this whole world off of our shoulders." Right? Very interesting, right? Because I told you before that in your ecstasy comes your enlightenment. And enlightenment is when you're lifting up, you're going beyond the darkness, the corruption, and even the color of what this world is. That's when people talk about, I'm walking into the light. I saw a bright light and I walked into it. Well, what that really is leaving behind your human thought, human cognition, and human attachments. And that happens every time you enter a space of ecstasy. We see children do it often. Children will do it eating something. They'll start kicking their feet, and they're eating ice cream or something, or mango, certain fruits that they like. Or on the playground, you see a certain level of bliss to the point that they don't even look human. Sometimes they'll be running around screaming and just laughing, and they'll fall and not even know they were hurt, won't even care. They're just engulfed in the moment and that ecstasy of the moment. And that's actually how they're learning. Very interesting. Now, when you put them in school, you tell them to sit in a chair all day underneath fluorescent lights. There's very little kinesthetic activity or stimulation, and they're supposed to learn that way. That's so stupid. I can't figure out a better way to say that. And I worked in education for many years and left because of stupid things like that and started my own institution. But anyway, let's get back to the subject at hand. And we're dealing here with Stairway to Heaven, or as some call it, Jacob's Ladder, Yakub's Ladder. And we're going to touch on all of those. But I wanted to play that song, for one, to set a proper melodious libation and energy forth for what we're going to be speaking about, and to give the listeners, all of you, some background. If you listen to those words in that song, it breaks down a very interesting and deep science. One of the lines that comes after taking the Lord of this whole world off our shoulders is, the door is wide open for you. The door is wide open for me. Right? So very interesting in that is that we're speaking about going through a gateway, going through a door. We've spoken about this so many times, and how even with that door or that key, it's really a singular thing, but everyone is going to go. Everyone's going. Okay. Whether you want to or not, everyone's climbing the stairway. And a lot of times the struggles that we experience in life is our slow climb on the stairway, us dragging ourselves up the stairway because we don't have the lower body strength. We haven't developed that, or the kundalini. We're not springing from the root chakra. We don't have that fire. Okay, so everything feels like a struggle. So now, whether we're climbing those stairs, or whether we're climbing Orumila's ladder or chain, back up to Orun, or the tree in Yoruba culture, which brings us back to Orun, or the tree of life in the Kabbalic system, all of us have to go. All of us are going to go. For the most of us, although some of us, most of us did not come to this planet to only be on this planet and to only exist within this dimension and this reality. That is not why we came here. We came here to go back. It's a mission we're on. It's a safari, right? And when you're on a safari, when you're in the jungle, that's not your home. You don't go all native. You bring your behind back home, Now, interesting. In the next stanza, we say, still in a moment of pleasure, again, dealing with that ecstasy, you and I, we are going to find the pirate's treasure. The pirate's treasure, right? Now, this is kind of a love song, but at the same time, it's got a social piece in it. Why would Gamble and Huff put pirate's treasure in it? That doesn't sound very sensual, does it? Pirate's treasure. Could it be possible that there was another entity working through them that gave them this notion, this idea of putting pirate's treasure in there? Maybe. Now, I addressed this before when we spoke about the pirates of the Moors, and the symbol of the skull and crossbones was the insignia of the Moors. That's where that came from, which represented, again, the Lord of the Underworld, right? Because we had the X, the unknown, which is the same positioning that Osiris would put his hands or saw before he went down into the underworld, which we know to be heaven. The skull represents the temporal nature of life. Now, again, when we're dealing with Barwan Samdi, or we're dealing with Eshu, we're dealing with the cross, and we're also dealing with the crossbones, again, representing the unknown aspect, going through the center, going down into the unknown, the X factor. Then when we're dealing with algebra, right, that which we do not know. Now, that's where the treasure is. The treasure lies in that dark unknown that we don't know about. Very similar to the chakra when we're dealing with the rainbow. And what do we say that's at the other side of the rainbow? This gold, this buried treasure at the other side of the rainbow. Well, once you go through the colors of the rainbow, that red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet, which we know corresponds to the colors of our chakra, once you climb the ladders of those colors, then you get the gold that's at the end. Well, what does gold represent? Alchemy, transformation, turning lead, the dark matter of your regular flesh, your regular mundane thought, that lead that nothing can get through, to gold that now has electrical conduciveness. Okay? Very interesting, when we think about this. Okay? That's why the ancient Nagara and Nagaru, known as pharaohs to some, the Greek word, although I did read some information recently that pharaoh is actually an African word too. But in any event, they ate gold. They ate gold dust. Okay, that was a part of their diet. It made them, of course, more conducive and friendly to electrical current. Right? There was so much in that electrical current in terms of information, which, again, we can go back to Shango, we can go back to Ogun, we can go back to all of our fire, Obatala, light energies, and being able to move closer to that light, When you know you're dealing with the ancient Kemites, you're dealing with the entire culture of people who never spoke about the beauty of planet Earth. Isn't that something? The only time we started really hearing about the beauty of planet Earth within the New World, we talk about that here. You know, the Shangri-Las and the paradises on Earth and Valhalla and Mount Olympus and all that jazz. You never heard any of the Egyptians talking about any great place on Earth. All they really talked about was after Earth and doing things to make themselves more conducive to travel, like the solar ship, okay, or the festival of Akhenaten, okay, where we get Noah's Ark, okay. They did all kind of things to make themselves more friendly, appeasable, and palatable to the next world. It's very interesting. Okay, so here we go. You know, and of course it's saying we're climbing the stairway to heaven. That's the chorus. And it goes further, together, step by step. That's the breakdown, you know, where it gets a little funky. And we're going step by step, right? Step by step, because you can't skip steps. Cannot skip steps. So going back to what this continual theme has been, you can't get initiated and then come back and now you're representing the culture. It doesn't work. People are selling this to you. Do not buy it. Take that same money you would have given them and give it to a village. You'll do more for your spiritual ashe positioning and favor with the deities by doing that than you will give it to some jive fake babalao so that you can skip steps on your stairway back to heaven. It's not going to work. It's not. Okay? So I'm going to get all into the initiation piece again. Although it kind of keeps coming up. People still sending me questions about that. And, you know, more so, I get a lot of questions. People got initiated and they're wondering what to do next. And it's like, you know, I have to break news to them. Like, what's next is you initiate yourself. You study. That's what's next. Now you're open to study. You can see certain things. You can touch certain things. But it's not a shortcut to the top. Just because somebody sat you on a throne and danced around you and played some drums. No. You know, that's just the beginning. Okay? So again, one of the closing lines of this particular cut, Stairway to Heaven, is in our own little corner of the world. All right. So it says like, put your hand, lean closer. Don't you want to go? Don't you want to go? Don't you want to go? In our own little corner of the world. Okay. Now, again, of course, we're talking about a love song here. So we're talking about a level of intimacy and closeness. But also, when we're speaking about our own little corner of the world, it's representing the fact that everybody has their own individual purpose. And that means that everybody's entry point to heaven is going to be different. Some people will find heaven, like it is said, and Dr. Ben taught us this. Dr. Ben told us that heaven is between a black woman's legs. Very accurate. Very, very accurate. Because we know when we're dealing with that womb energy and we're dealing with Yemoja, we're dealing with the entry point into the world. As Mama used to say, I brought you into this world, I can take you out. I send your butt back to heaven. And she's absolutely right. She can. Okay, so it's very interesting, again, when we're dealing with the individual nature of what your life purpose is, or the individual nature of what your particular stair steps to heaven looks like. It doesn't look the same for everyone. That's so important. Does not look the same for everyone. That's what our new spiritual training, the students will tell you. I don't offer a lot of yes and no questions. Well, for certain things I do, but for certain things I'll say, did you read on it? Did you take a general consensus? Did you speak to other students? Come to me with an answer. And that goes for anyone who's sending me emails or students asking me questions. Pose your questions in the format of an answer. Do the research and work, and then say to me, listen, I did this, I did that, I did that. This was what happened after I did that. How does that sound to you? Or what was your experience with that? Or am I on the right track? Don't ask me to lift you up and walk you up the steps. I can't do that. And I won't do it. Your steps may not hold my weight. Your steps were built for you. Don't ask me to take your foot and put it on the step. You got to get on the step, and then when you're a couple of steps up, you can ask me, say, hey, you know, how's this look? Yeah, you're doing good. You're walking on the steps. Oh no, you're walking backwards, or you better hold on to the rail. You're gonna fall. But you have to initiate the journey. Now, let's tap into this aspect of Jacob's ladder for a second, right? Jacob's ladder. When we're dealing with that, we're dealing with Yaqub, right? And Yaqub, as the so-called Jews, and most of us know, consider him to be their father. Now, let's just kind of hit the nature and circumstances surrounding the coming forth of Yaqub, and also importantly, his twin brother Esau. Right. And I know there's a lot of theories around Jacob and Esau. I don't really want to touch upon those, or Yaqub being that scientist from 6,000 years ago, 6,600 years ago, who created what we know to be as the European or the Caucasian race. And there's stories surrounding that. There's stories that implicate Esau as being the progenitor of the Caucasian race and being the red one, and he was red, it was said, like a hairy garment. These are all different theories, and so you could research those. I urge you to do so, but we're actually tapping something a little different in this segment. And I just bring up Esau because I want you to remember, when we're dealing with Jacob's ladder, this is the Jacob who we're referring to. And it was in the 28th chapter of Genesis, in the 10th verse, that I spoke about when Jacob left the area known as Beersheba, and he was headed towards Haran. Okay, and he came to a place, and it was basically the sun was setting. It was pretty much time to camp for the night. So he took a stone and he laid his head on it, and he just slept pretty much on the ground. He slept on the ground, and he had a dream. And in this dream, he saw a ladder, which was on the planet Earth, and it reached up to heaven, or to quote unquote God's realm. And he saw angels going up and down this ladder from heaven to earth. And while he was looking at that, it was the Lord, who we'll just say the Lord for now, I'm not necessarily saying God, said to him, I am the Lord, the God of Abraham, your father, and the God of Isaac. The land on which you lie I will give to you and your descendants shall be like the dust of the earth, and you shall spread abroad to the west and to the east and to the north and to the south, and by you and your descendants shall all the families of earth be blessed themselves. Behold, I am with you and will keep you wherever you go, and will bring you back to this land, for I will not leave you until I have done that which I have spoken. And I think it was something, and that's when he woke up. Okay, look at that scripture. Sometimes my biblical verbatim, I lose a word here or there. But in any sense, so you get the gist. And he woke up from the dream and he said, this is surely the Lord's place where I am right now. And that place he named Bethel. We're going to get into this. There was a lot revealed in this, right? Now, we know this whole Jacob's ladder, Stairway to Heaven, actually goes back to Kemet. There are actually reliefs on temple walls where it shows the actual ladder and the Neteru ascending and descending from the underworld to the earth. So much older than the Bible, or this particular Bible. Okay. But in any event, we can still gather some information from it and relate it to our studies and what we're here to do in this day and time. So first off, you have Esau, who was red. Now let's get real simple with it, right? Esau sounds a whole lot like Eshu, doesn't it? And we have his twin brother, Jacob. Jacob means to follow. Okay, that is what the name Jacob means. Jacob's name was eventually turned to Israel. He was later called Israel, okay, which is Eshrael, Israel, Israel, okay, Eshrael. and or Isis, Ra, and El, which is a better way to explain it to you all. Isis, Ra, and El. But originally his name was Jacob before the Lord thy God changed his name to Israel. But he was a twin brother of Esau, and he traded Esau his birthright for some soup. According to story, he was in the fields, and he was hungry. Esau, because he was the worker, he was like a hunter. He was a real rugged person, and Esau said, "Hey, give me some of your soup. I'm starving." And Jacob said, "I'll give it to you for your birthright," because even though they were twins, remember Jacob follows. Jacob held the heel of Esau when he came out of the womb. Okay. But in fact, it was Esau who was firstborn, even though they were twins. And there was a lot of stories of Jacob kind of taking Esau's position or Esau's fortune and power. Now, I'm sure you probably all have noticed that Esau, the name itself, sounds like Eshu. It's actually spelled very similar. Esau is E-S-E-A-U. Okay? And we know that Eshu is E-S-U. So Esau is E-S-A-U and Eshu is E-S-U. Esau is the red one. And when Jacob had this vision, he was fleeing from Esau. Okay? He was fleeing Esau, and he was headed to Haran, coming from Beersheba. So much said there. Now, because we always got to break the words down, right? Beersheba means, well, first you have beer, and beer means well, okay? Just like a drinking well, a well that you would drink out of, pull information out of, pull things out of. Sheba or Sabah or Sabbat or Sabbath means 7, okay? Shabbat or Sheba means 7. So Beersheba is the well of the 7. Okay, the well of 7. And he was going to Haran. Now, Haran means like dry or desolate or mountainous. Okay, now, so that means that Jacob or Yaqub was going from the well, from the bottom, heading up to the top. So already we have a chakra story. He's fleeing from his red brother. Right? Sounding like Eshu, red, we know we're dealing with that root chakra. And he's going into the mountains of Haran. That's where he's headed to. Okay? Now, anytime we see mountains, especially when you see in mythology any reference to a mountain or a snow-capped mountain, it's talking about the crown chakra. Okay? Now, we even know oftentimes Obatala, who lives up there near those crown energies, is related to mountains and stones. That's Obatala. Okay, now he rested his head on a stone before he had this night vision or this dream. So he laid on the bare earth, the base, the root chakra. Okay, he put himself on a stone, and then he had a vision of angels on this ladder going up and down from earth to heaven, earth to heaven, earth to heaven. Now, we already know, again, Beersheba deals with the well of 7. When you're dealing with the well, you're dealing again with that darkness, or we're dealing with transformation. And we're also dealing with our sources of wisdom, which is very important. When you're talking about a well, you're talking about your source of wisdom. And your wisdom can be corrupted. It's very important. If you look at even, if anybody is familiar with the tragedies that are currently going on in Darfur and many other regions, but in particular, one of the things that is done when a village is taken, is ransacked, and the woman is raped, is that they will either throw an animal or a dead body into the well. And this contaminates the well. So now it makes it completely useless. Will kill the people. They have to sand it over, put sand in it, so that no one will try to draw water from it. So Jacob or Yaqub is coming from that place, okay, that well place where the transformation comes from, and he's trying to head to the high place of Haran, which we would call again the crown. And during that process, he sees this vision while he's sleeping, and then he names the place that he saw the vision Bethel. Bethel, okay? Now, very important here is that Bethel, Beth, is from the Hebrew letter, and it means house, and El is God. So he named the place that he saw this vision the house of God. He named it the house of God. Now, what does that mean to us? Well, of course, we know he's coming from the root chakra. Okay, he's coming from the root chakra because he was coming from Beersheba, running from his red brother Esau, or maybe even Eshu. All right, the one who came out first and who heralded the way. Now, we had the show I did already on Ibeje. I advise you to go back and check it out, and you'll see how even the Ibeje are kind of an Eshu nature within themselves in terms of how they do represent duality. And they even represent the opening and heralding of certain things. This is what Eshu did for Yaakov, okay, or for Jacob, or Yaakov. That's another way that it's often pronounced without the B. Not Yaakov, but Yaakov. So if you ever hear anyone say that name, Yaakov, you know they're referring to Jacob as well. Also, James is also a form of Jacob or Yaakov, right? And remember, his name was then changed to Israel or Israel, okay? But in any event, he's at the house of God, or he names it the house of God, Bethel, because each one of your chakra points is a house unto itself. Each one of your chakra points is a house of the Almighty, because your soul travels through these chakra points in order to get back home. This is what the ladder theory is. So when you first come into the world, your soul is mainly expressing itself through the root chakra, through Esau, through Eshu, through the base chakra, through the ground chakra, and that's dealing with your physical environment, food, clothing, and shelter. Now, for those who stay in the root chakra, that's all they ever talk about is material things. I want stuff. Their earthly reality. Remember, he laid on the earth. He put his head on a stone and he laid on the ground. Okay, there's some people who never remove themselves from that position. They never stand up. They never go up the ladder. They never go up the mountain. They're constantly stuck within that root chakra thinking, root chakra reality, and that's where they trap their soul. A house is not just a place of shelter or a chakra, but as I've mentioned to you before, your chakras can also be a prison, and they really are a prison for your soul. Your soul wants to get completely out of the chakras. And sometimes it will go up and down. One of the things that was mentioned on the Alim Bey show the other night when I spoke was there was a brother who came on and was speaking about how within 2 hours he can show a person how to open up their chakras and, you know, and his techniques, which is great. But one of the things that I mentioned was that there's a difference between employing the chakras and feeling the sensation of them. If you can feel the sensation of your chakras by running, by laughing, by ecstasy, okay, by certain breathing techniques, but are you staying there? No, because just like Jacob's ladder, you're going up and down the ladder. So you feel that ecstasy of the crown where you feel completely detached from your human body and human reality, then something happens, boom, and you're right back down in the root chakra, afraid for your life, afraid for your belongings, afraid for your human attachments. And then something happens. Maybe you hear a Blog Talk Radio show, somebody teaches you something, or you listen to some music, or you see a beautiful sunrise or a beautiful sunset or a mountain, and you say, man, you know, no, I'm taking myself out of this way of thinking. And now you start going back up the chakra ladder. So the angles of God, or the spirits of God, the thought forms, are constantly going up and down that ladder. And it's that instability or that fluctuation that you need in order to evolve yourself, because every time you go up to ecstasy, you learn something. Every time you fall back down into your root corruption, you learn something. So next time when you shoot higher, you go higher up. That's that land of Paran. You go even higher, even higher, even higher. Keep in mind that in the Bible, the term for heaven is Assaan-ANU. Assaan-ANU. Or Al or El, we know means God. Anu, just like my name, means the people of the heavens, or the people who came from the heavens. Anu is the same as Uranus. The planet Uranus is Anu, or what we call in the Bible heaven. Okay, so the destiny is to go above and beyond to the highest of the highest, which is beyond the heavens, even written in the Bible. Okay, your original true place of origin. Until then, you will go from heaven to earth. But as you grow, as you change, as you mature, you will hit different heaven points. Okay, so you may reach the heaven of the root chakra at some point. And the heaven of the root chakra will be what? I got everything I need. There's food in the refrigerator. I'm not lonely. I'm not angry. I have income. I have land. I'm good. Okay? And then you may fall, or you may strive for something more. You may strive for the heaven of the sacral chakra, the ability to manifest and bring forth your own reality onto the planet, or onto Onile, the planet. Okay? And then if you fall from that heaven, you're going to fall even lower because you're higher up now. Okay? Ambition causes that. And great people are forged through great trials. Okay? You're going to find that the higher your places of ecstasy, sometimes the lower your falls. When things happen, when they finally do happen, it's much different than the average person. It's not just you missing a bus. Okay? It's not just you getting your hours cut at work. Okay, it may be complete desolation. But then when you rise again, you'll go to another higher chakra point. You may now go to the solar chakra, and you're working with Oshun there, and the sun energy, okay, and Ra. So each heaven, that ladder, is a constant fluctuation until eventually you break yourself completely off the ladder. You reach the plateau. What's up there? I have no idea. A good movie you all should watch is The Adjustment Bureau. Okay, with Anthony Mackie and Matt something. I can't remember his last. Matt Damon, that's his name. That movie has the concept of that ladder and readjusting, redesigning, and recreating what is written in the stars for you. Once you get to that highest level, you can now do reality reconstruction. That is the science of the Stairway to Heaven, or Jacob's Ladder. And how we start working with Jacob's Ladder to make it work for us is through our ecstasy, as the song says, but even also through our development and reaching down through human thought and human life. Okay, you can't be so holy and so spiritual that you forget that you are in this human flesh. You're in it for a reason. You didn't incarnate back onto the planet without a corporeal existence or a corporeal format, a body. You didn't just come as a spirit. You came with a body, so you're supposed to utilize them both. And if you learn to do that and go up the ladder and down the ladder, as Yaqub now got the revelation of doing, and he understood that where I am in this moment is where God is. Right in this moment is where God is. This is the house of God. I'm not running somewhere to find God. God is where I evolved to. And right now I'm evolved to laying on the ground and using a stone for my pillow. A stone to support my Ori. A stone is supporting my Ori. There's another deep thing to that, but we'll get into that another time. But in any event, and that is the house of God, Bethel. That is where Olodumare is in the moment. And when I continue my travel and continue my flight from my brother Esau, that is where God will be. God is where you are in the moment. So you think about that the next time you want to go do something stupid. Am I now devolving God and the work that God or Olodumare has done to get up the higher points on the ladder? Am I now just acting stupid and purposely falling back down the steps just to do it again after all the work, all the falls that I've had to take to get this high? Is that what I'm doing? So you consider that. And I don't want to put the guilt, don't sin thing on you. And this show isn't about that. And that's not what I want That's not what I'm doing. But I do want you to understand the level of divine accountability that you bring with you when you go into a situation or you perform an act that you know to be wicked, meaning against nature. You're bringing Olodumare and your Egun into that act. Okay, because everybody is on the shadow. Is on the ladder. As the song says, there's room for you, there's room for me. We're all going on this thing, and you bring us all with you. Okay, so it's just something I wanted to hit upon, that stairway to heaven reality. And I would urge you all to check out Genesis 28, or the genes of Isis, chapter 28, verse 10. And, do your own study on Beersheba, which is this is a place, and do your own study on Haran, which some also say that he was headed beyond Haran to Mount Moriah. Mount Moriah. Now, very interesting there, because Moriah is the angel that revealed himself apparently to Joseph Smith when he founded the Latter-day Saints, or the Mormons. Now, isn't there a lot of more in there? Moriah, Mormon. I don't know. It sounds like maybe that angel might have been a Moorish pirate. But, I don't want to desecrate anybody's religion. I know people take their religions very seriously, but we should take them so seriously that we decide to dissect them, study them, and break them apart and actually truly learn them. If you truly love this supreme being, as you say you do, take time to learn it. If you truly love yourself, as you say you do, take time to learn the space and the moment and where you're at, because that is Bethel. Where you're at right now is Bethel. It is the house of God. It is currently where Olodumare is residing. Now, even though we say that heaven is Uranus or Anu, don't be so foolish to take the lies of people when they tell you that God lives in heaven. No, how could you contain Olodumare to a space? You cannot contain Olodumare. You can't even contain Olodumare inside of our bodies. It doesn't even work like that, because when the body goes, Olodumare goes somewhere else. Olodumare does not go into the ground with you, or burn up in a fire with you, or whatever. However your body transitions and expires, your Ojiji leaves. It hangs around for 3 days, which we call the Bardo period, and then it's gone. Okay, ready to move on to the next thing, or maybe another realm to make new worlds or whatever. So that ladder is very important to understand. Now, of course, when we're dealing with the ladder, we're also dealing with the vertebrae, which I didn't get into as much. But you have 33 vertebrae. You put that 33 together, you have 6. 6 also comes from the number sex. From the word sex, or the serpent. They're all related to one another. Okay, so when you're dealing with the serpent, or that 6, or the 33 vertebrae, or the ladder in that aspect, you're dealing with Kundalini, or as we say in the Sangoma tradition, Upalini. Okay, so you're dealing with that aspect of the fire. Now, who controls the energy in the fire of Kundalini? Eshu. Because the snake of the Kundalini, of that 6, the bottom of that 6, that coil, is in your root chakra. It's in Beersheba. Okay, the well of 7. And the well of 7 is the bottom of the 7. So that means the hell of the 7 is the bottom, is the well. And that's where the snake is coiled at. That's where your power and your strength is coiled. And Eshu, the holder of Ashe, of power, spiritual authority, Eshu now takes whatever you give him and whatever he shares with you, your ration of Ashe, and he pushes and propels that snake through the ladder, up the ladder, okay, or up the steps, or the stairways to heaven, or up the vertebrae, or up the chakras. Okay, that's the Kundalini, and that's Eshu doing that for you. That's why in the story we have Jacob following Eshu and holding on to the heel of Esau, or Eshu, because it is Eshu that pulls you through. It is Esau that pulled Jacob through the womb, okay, and allowed him to manifest himself in Aye. So here's the importance again of Eshu as it deals with Kundalini, the root chakra, and this concept that we just covered, the stairway to heaven. So everyone, that is our show. It's been a pleasure, and I hope you all got something out of it. Be sure to check out our new Asafo this Sunday at 1 p.m. The show has been doing excellent, and we've had a lot of people tuning in and enjoying it. It's becoming one of my favorite shows. So definitely you check that out. And like I said, go over to those archives on YouTube. Go to our channel, Orisha Yoruba, and check out the interview that I did with Dr. Aline Bey the other night. I think you all will enjoy it. And it touches some of the things that I spoke about in this show as well. Now, that has been our segment. I am Chief Jegna Yuya Assaan-ANU, signing off and saying to you all, be well, be strong, and most importantly, be you. Hotep.
We thank you for your listening support and urge you to become an active participating member of the ANU Order. Please be sure to follow our Ustream broadcast, which can be found at ustream.tv/channel/enlightenment and transformation. That is USTREAM.TV/channel/enlightenment. Also, please be sure to sign up for the ANU newsletter, which can be found by going to anunation.org. That is ANUNATION.org. If you'd like to become a sponsor or an on-air guest on this or any of our other broadcasts, please be sure to contact us at questions@anunation.org. That is the word questions at anunation.org. Thank you for your continued support and be well.
There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold, and she's buying a stairway to heaven. When she gets there, she knows if the stores are all closed, with a word she can get what she came for. Ooh, and she's buying a stairway here. There's a sign on the wall, but she wants to be sure, 'cause you know sometimes words have two meanings. In a tree by the brook, there's a songbird who sings. Sometimes all of our thoughts are misgiven. There's a feeling I get when I look to the west, and my spirit is crying for leaving. In my thoughts I have seen rings of smoke through the trees, and the voices of those who stand looking. stairway.